Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Always exciting to jump into these topics.
Absolutely. And today we're tackling storage for Cloud Native PostgreSQL in Kubernetes.
Ah, yes, the age-old question, what to do about storage.
Exactly. Now you're already using CNPG for your databases, right?
Right.
So you're already ahead of the game, but now it's decision time.
Yeah,
Local path provider or Rook Ceph,
big decision. And it really impacts your production environment.
for sure. Picking the right storage solution can make or break your setup.
But here's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
CNPG has this built-in replication feature, so we can actually consider simpler storage options than you might think.
Interesting. So CNPG's replication changes things up a bit, huh?
It really does.
Yeah.
It handles data redundancy at the database level itself.
So we don't need that same level of redundancy from the storage layer.
Exactly. Interesting.
Okay, so first up, we've got local path provider.
The straightforward option.
Exactly. Imagine this, your PostgreSQL data just lives on the hard drive of your Kubernetes nodes.
Simple enough.
And because CNPG is handling the replication across those nodes for you,
Yeah.
you don't need a complex distributed storage system. So that's a huge plus.
I can see how that would simplify things.
Absolutely. And this simplicity also means some serious performance advantages.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're talking about your database reading data directly from that local disk. No network delays, just pure speed.
Like a cheetah.
Exactly. It's exactly what you want for a database, that snappy performance.
And the best part, it's so easy to set up and maintain.
Keep it simple. I like it.
Right. You're basically using what's already there on your nodes, so it's incredibly cost-effective.
You're not adding a whole new layer of infrastructure.
Nope. No need. So everything stays nice and tidy.
But there's always a trade-off, isn't there?
There is. There always is.
And with local path provider, it's redundancy, or rather, the lack of it.
Right. If a node goes down, the data on that node goes down with it.
Poof.
Gone. Well, CNPG will replicate your data, sure, but you could still have downtime.
Especially if that whole node is out of commission.
For sure. And here's another thing. Your data is tied to that specific node.
Ah, so it can't just move around freely.
Exactly. Kubernetes can't easily move a pod to a different node if its data is stuck on the original one.
I see. So it limits your flexibility.
Big time.
Hmm.
Especially if you need to shuffle things around to your cluster.
Okay, so what if you can't afford any downtime?
That's the million-dollar question. And that's where Rook Ceph comes in.
The big guns.
Exactly. Picture this. A huge pool of storage that spans multiple nodes.
Whoa, hold on. Back up, back up. You're saying the data isn't stuck on one node anymore?
Nope, not at all. It's replicated across this whole pool.
I see.
So if one node goes down, no problem. Your data is safe and sound on other nodes.
Wow, that's pretty resilient.
It is. And because of that, your applications just keep humming along.
No hiccups.
None.
I'm starting to see why people choose this option.
It's pretty powerful, right? And this whole distributed nature of Rook Ceph,
Yeah.
it gives you incredible flexibility. Kubernetes can move those pods anywhere it needs to.
And it doesn't have to worry about where the data is.
Nope. Think of it like your pods have this storage passport
A storage passport. I like that.
that lets them work from anywhere in the cluster.
Smart. So it's super adaptable.
Super adaptable. And get this, Rook Ceph is a self-healing system.
Self-healing. Now that's interesting.
I know, right? It constantly monitors itself, detects any failures, and recovers from them automatically.
Wow. So it's like having a 247 data medic team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Always working to keep everything in perfect shape.
I bet that comes in handy when you're dealing with massive clusters.
Too bad. Especially with hundreds of nodes and complex deployments, Rook Ceph's centralized management is a lifesaver.
Yeah, I can imagine that can get pretty complicated otherwise.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's be real for a second. Rook Ceph isn't exactly a walk in the park.
Let's hear the downsides.
Right. Because your data is zipping across a network, you might see some performance overhead compared to local path providers.
Proceed daemon, right.
Exactly. And setting up and maintaining Rook Ceph definitely requires a bit more expertise.
Not as plug and play then.
No, not really. And it's definitely more resource intensive, needing a good amount of CPU, memory, and disk space to work its magic.
That's a heavy hitter.
For sure. We're talking about serious data handling here, and it needs the resources to match.
I see.
So we've got these two strong contenders, local path provider. Lean, mean, speed demon, Rook Ceph. The resilient powerhouse.
Two very different approaches.
They are. But the big question is, which one's the right fit for your production environment?
It all comes down to your needs.
Exactly. So to help you decide, we're going to unpack some key considerations in real-world scenarios in part 2 of our deep dive.
Awesome. Can't wait to dig deeper into those specific use cases.
Me neither. It's going to get interesting. Welcome back. We're in the thick of it now.
Trying to decide between local path provider and Rook Ceph, right?
You got it. It's a tough one.
It's like picking between, a nimble scooter and a heavy-duty truck.
I like that analogy.
Both will get you where you need to go, but which one's right for you,
Depends on your cargo and the road ahead, right?
Exactly. You got to think about your production environment,
Our replications need.
your comfort level with risk, all of that.
Are you all about that peace of mind, knowing your data is safe no matter what?
Or are you okay with a little more risk if it means top-notch performance?
Let's start with performance then.
All right, speed demons, listen up.
If you need the absolute lowest latency possible,
For those applications that just can't wait.
local path provider might be your best bet.
Direct from disk access, no network overhead slowing things down.
But even if you're obsessed with speed,
Yeah,
you can't ignore redundancy.
true.
Can your application handle some downtime if a node goes down?
Because remember, with local path provider,
If a node crashes,
the data on that node goes with it.
CNPG will replicate your data, sure.
But you could still have some hiccups.
Now, on the flip side,
Yeah.
what if your application absolutely cannot afford any downtime?
Mission critical stuff
Like financial transactions, healthcare systems, you name it.
in those situations.
Rook Ceph starts to look pretty good.
It's like a superhero in a data center.
Right. It replicates your data across multiple nodes.
Oh, even if one node fails,
Your applications don't even flinch.
no sweat. Another thing to consider,
Yeah.
the size and complexity of your environment,
Are you running a lean operation?
or are you managing a whole Kubernetes empire?
Because if you're all about simplicity and keeping costs down,
Local path provider fits the bill.
easy to set up, easy to maintain, easy on the budget.
But what if you've got a massive production environment?
Hundreds of nodes, complex deployments, demanding uptime requirements, the whole 9 yards,
Then Rook Ceph might be worth the extra effort.
all those bells and whistles.
They're there for a reason.
It's built to handle complexity and scale.
So you can grow your Kubernetes environment without worrying about hitting a wall.
A storage wall.
Exactly. Let's get down to brass tacks for a minute.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Imagine you're running a small e-commerce site,
Performance is important, of course.
but you're not dealing with, life or death transactions.
And your team is probably pretty lean.
In that scenario,
Local path provider might be your best friend.
you get that snappy performance, easy management, and it's easy on the wallet.
Now picture this.
Yeah, okay.
You're running a platform that handles sensitive financial transactions.
24/7.
Downtime is not an option.
Absolutely not. Data security and resilience are non-negotiable,
That's where Rook Ceph shines.
providing that rock-solid foundation you need.
So you can sleep at night.
Exactly. But of course, these are just examples.
Every Kubernetes environment is unique.
Like a snowflake.
You got to analyze your own specific needs.
Think about your applications, your performance requirements, your tolerance for downtime.
Your team's expertise.
It's about finding that balance
The sweet spot.
that matches your needs with the strengths of each solution.
And don't forget, this isn't just about today.
Right.
It's about tomorrow, too.
The future.
As your applications evolve, your user base grows.
Will your chosen storage solution be able to keep up?
Will it handle all that data, those users, the ever-growing demands?
That's the question.
Choosing the right storage is about setting yourself up for success, not just today, but for years to come.
Long-term thinking.
Now, before we move on,
Hold on.
there's one technical detail we need to unpack.
Lay it on me.
Node affinity.
Node affinity. Okay, I'm listening.
It's all about how tightly your application's data is tied to a specific node.
Aha, I see.
With local path provider, that affinity is high,
Yeah, the data lives on a specific node's disk.
so it limits your
You
flexibility.
can't just move things around easily.
Exactly. But with Rook Ceph,
Things are different
node affinity is much lower,
because the data is spread across multiple nodes.
so it doesn't really care where your pods are running.
That's pretty cool.
It is. You can move your pods around, do maintenance on nodes, scale up or down.
Without worrying about disrupting access to your data.
Exactly. Another thing to consider, the level of expertise needed to manage each solution.
Ah, yes, the skills factor.
Local path provider is pretty user-friendly,
Easy to set up, easy to maintain.
even if your team is still learning the ropes of Kubernetes.
But Rook Ceph,
Yeah, it's a different story.
more
You
demanded.
need someone who understands distributed storage.
Ceph configuration, troubleshooting, all that jazz.
And of course, we can't forget about cost.
The bottom line:
Local path provider is the economical choice.
uses your existing resources, no extra hardware,
Rook Ceph might require a bit more investment,
dedicated storage cluster, additional infrastructure, it all adds up,
but you're paying for resilience, scalability, and peace of mind.
which are pretty valuable in the world of Kubernetes.
So before you jump in head first,
Yeah.
take a moment to weigh the pros and cons.
Consider your needs, your budget, your team skills.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
Try one, switch to the other, see what works.
The Kubernetes is all about flexibility.
Finding the right solution for you.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Let's take a breather and recap
Okay, good idea.
before we wrap things
I'm
up.
good.
So we've talked about performance, resilience, all this technical detail.
We have. But let's step back for a second.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Think about it this way. Choosing a storage solution is kind of like,
Choosing a backpack.
like choosing the right backpack for a hike.
Okay, I'm following you.
If you're just, going for a quick walk in the park,
Yeah,
a simple fanny pack might do the trick.
light and easy.
Exactly. But if you're planning on, climbing Mount Everest,
You're going to need something a lot more heavy duty
for sure, something to carry all your gear.
that can withstand the elements.
Right. And that's kind of how it is with local path provider and Rook Ceph.
So local path provider is like the fanny pack.
It is. It's perfect for those quick trips, those applications that need to move fast.
They don't need to carry a lot of weight.
But Rook Ceph, that's your heavy-duty expedition pack.
Built for the tough stuff.
Designed for the most demanding applications, the environments where data resilience is absolutely crucial.
I see. So when you're thinking about your Kubernetes journey,
Ask yourself,
what kind of adventure are we going on here?
what are you packing? And what kind of terrain are you expecting?
Because those answers,
I'll help you figure out.
which storage solution is the perfect fit for your needs?
For your goals, for your Kubernetes ambitions.
So there you have it, folks. Our deep dive into local path provider versus Rook Ceph for Cloud Native PostgreSQL in Kubernetes.
We've covered a lot of ground, but hopefully,
Hopefully we've given you the tools to make a good decision.
because remember, there's no right answer for everyone.
It all comes down to your specific environment and your application's needs.
So explore your options, experiment a little.
And choose the storage solution that will help you build that amazing Kubernetes ecosystem.
Resilient, scalable, and high performing.
And until next time, happy Kubernetesing.